boys and girls. Today we are going to be talking about animals that do and do not live in a pond. Now, all week we have been talking about ponds. So, we want to talk about the kind of animals that belong in ponds. So, here I have a basket and it says not at the pond. So, in this basket, we are going to put the animals' pictures who do not belong at the pond. Let's get started. So the first picture I have is a dog. Dog. Now, do you think a dog can live in the water? Hmm. Think about your dog. No. A dog cannot live in water. A dog needs to live on land. So we're going to put this in our basket, not at the pond. How about a seahorse? Can a seahorse live at the pond? Let me give you a hint. A seahorse actually needs big body of water. A pond is just a small body of water. So, do you think a seahorse lives at the pond? No. A seahorse lives in the ocean. So, he doesn't belong at the pond. Let's try this one. Babies. Do you think babies can live in a pond? No, a baby cannot live in a pond. It needs to be with its mother, it needs to be in a nice bed. It can't live in a small body of water. That wouldn't make any sense. A baby cannot live in water, even though they get baths. That's different than living in water. So, a baby does not belong at the pond. How about a cat? Does a cat live in the water? No. So a cat does not belong at the pond. How about a polar bear? Does a polar bear belong at the pond? No. A polar bear needs a very cold place to live. Polar bears live in the Arctic where it snows. They need snow, not a small body of water. So a polar bear does not belong at the pond. How about a dinosaur? Does a dinosaur belong at the pond? No. Are dinosaurs still alive? Are they still around? No. But if they were, they couldn't live in a little tiny area of water. Dinosaurs roamed the earth. They walked around the whole earth. They can't just stay in one little small area of water. So a dinosaur does not belong at the pond. A shark. Now, a shark does live in water, but do you think a shark lives in a big area of water or a small area of water? I'll give you a hint. This is a pretty big shark. This shark lives in an ocean, so a pond is going to be way too small. So, no, he doesn't belong in a pond. How about a penguin? Does a penguin belong at the pond? No. A penguin needs cold, like the polar bear. He needs snow. He doesn't live in a pond. He can't live there, but he can live in a snowy area. So a penguin does not belong in a pond. I have one more for you. A starfish. Do you think a starfish lives in a pond? I'll give you a hint. A starfish lives in the same environment as a shark. Did that help? A starfish lives in the same environment as a seahorse. Well, they don't live at the pond. They live in an ocean, so not at the pond. I do want to show you animals that actually live in the pond. So here is my special pond tray. The first animal that does live at the pond is a beaver. A beaver lives at the pond. He likes to build his home with sticks and twigs and other things he finds. So if you ever find a pond, there might be a beaver there building. You know who else likes to live at a pond? A turtle. And we know that turtles live for a very long time. The other day, I went to a pond and I saw a turtle in it. So yes, a turtle lives at the pond. Sometimes if you look close, they pop their head up and then they go back in their pond. Guess what else lives at a pond? A water snake. Now, I have seen a water snake at a pond before, and I don't think that they're very mean, but they're pretty cool. So I really like seeing a water snake at a pond. Well, did you know that a pond doesn't just have animals, it actually has plants too. Can I show you a plant that lives at the pond? It's called a cattail. And if you go to the pond, I want you to keep your eyes out for this plant, cattail. It actually looks like a little tail of a cat. I think that's why it's called cattail. All right, now I think you know this one already, but I'm going to show you. You know what lives at a pond? A duck. And we sang about ducks earlier in the week. We sang about ducks because they're pond animals. We're learning about pond. The next animal is also an animal we learned about and talked about earlier in the week, and you actually drew it. We also talked about how this animal is a predator to flies. A frog. A frog is a pond animal. A dragonfly. There's bugs at ponds, and one of the main bugs you'll see is a dragonfly. Another animal I want to show you that lives at a pond is a newt. A newt is kind of, sort of like a lizard, but they're different. And he lives in a pond in the water, so he's pretty cool. He likes to hide in between different rocks, and they're pretty quick, so you have to look out for them. The last animal I want to show you that lives in a pond is a fish. We know that fish live in ponds, and the card that I have is a bass. Do you see how big his mouth is? Bass fish have really, really big mouths. So today we learned about animals that do live in the pond, such as a beaver, a turtle, a cattail plant, a water snake, a duck, a frog, a dragonfly, a newt, and a bass. We also learned about animals that do not belong in the pond. See, not every animal can live in a pond. I can't live in a pond, and neither can a polar bear. Every animal has a different home. And this is the animals that do belong in a pond. Next time you go to a pond, I want to see if you guys can find any of these animals or plants. Bye guys, and have fun next time you go to the pond.